So the other day, I was getting ready to shoot my YouTube video, and I was getting my hair done and putting on my makeup and all that good stuff. And I caught my reflection in the mirror from a certain angle, and I saw that there was something with the chin thing going on. There was a bit more chins there than there were a few weeks ago. So I said to myself, you really had a good Christmas. So a part of me, a tiny, teeny, wincy part of me thought, you know what? I'm not going to shoot the video. Let me wait for a couple of weeks until I can get these Christmas pounds off. But then I said to myself, but hold on a minute. Aren't you the Angie Brown, the same one that always says to people to love themselves no matter what, to love themselves where they're at, to never feel less than, to work on yourself, but to love yourself while you're working on yourself? Me running and hiding and pretending that I don't have all this stuff going on, that's not being the authentic me. But it did show me, and it made me realize that confidence, no matter how confident you are, that confidence is something that doesn't just happen. It's something that you have to work on. It's something that you have to nurture. It's something that you might even have to rebuild. So this is what I want to talk about today, and that is how to be confident. Certain things that we can do to be confident in our fabulous 50s, and things that we should avoid and get rid of because they are confidence killers, and we don't need to be doing all of that. Not when we should be living our best life in our fabulous 50s. So if you're interested in this topic, if you want to know how to be confident and how to stop killing your confidence in your 50s, if you want to know more, then you know what to do. And that is, don't go anywhere. So how many times have you stood in front of the mirror getting ready, and then you see something that you didn't see before or wasn't there yesterday? Maybe like a pimple or a wrinkle or a spot or a whatever it is. And you think, and you stand there and you start expecting yourself, and you start moving your head around and your body around, and you start shifting, and you start looking at yourself from every single angle, and you start patting yourself down, and it becomes an endless thing that we do in front of the mirror. Inspect everything. The laugh lines around the mouth, and maybe around the eyes. So every flaw or every perceived flaw, we stand there and we inspect from top to bottom. And sometimes we even go further and we start comparing ourselves to how we were 10 years ago. We'll be saying things like, oh my goodness, 10 years ago, I never had all these wrinkles. And 10 years ago, I was able to sit down without going, because my joints hurt. And 10 years ago, I could do this. And 10 years ago, I can do that. Well, guess what? It may be all true. But 10 years ago, you didn't have those added baggage of experience that you have now. Oh my goodness, I could teach a masterclass. Something that I can't stand, and it really annoys me. And I don't know if some of you ever notice that when you're looking through magazines or the newspapers, and they will show you a picture of some celebrity in their heyday, 30, 40, 50 years ago, when they were looking snatched and their abs were all out and they were all sucked in, because yes, they had youth on their side. And then they will show the picture of how they are now, looking older, maybe overweight, thinning or greying hair, and things like that. Almost as if you want to shame people at the fact that they're getting older. People get older. That's a part of life. There is absolutely nothing that we can do about that. But getting older doesn't mean that you just have to hide yourself away and you're no longer valid. You have your wisdom and you have experience. And that is something that is huge. So let's not forget that. So in the comments below, let me know how much time you spend in front of the mirror each day. There's no judgment here. This is a judgment-free zone. We're just having a conversation. There is something about us that as we get older, we feel the need to apologize. We apologize for everything, for existing, for wanting things, for talking out. And I don't understand that. Apologizing all the time puts you in a position of weakness. It puts you in a position that people react to in a negative way. Let me just explain what I mean. For those who are new to this channel and don't know, I am a singer and I'm also a songwriter. And although oftentimes I write songs for myself, I do every now and again write songs for record companies or for producers or for other artists who are looking for songs. And I found that when I write a song for somebody else, when I finished it, and without fail, because I've tested this out, and without fail, if I send it to them, and if I say, you know what, I'm sorry if I didn't quite capture the hook out how you wanted it, but I think it could work, and I think it will be all right for your voice. Or if I say, you know what, I apologize if it's slower than you expected, or if you wanted something a bit more rhythm, but I think it could still work for your artist. When I start off with an apology, rest assured that after they've listened to it, they will always have something to say negatively about it. They'll say, I don't know if it actually works for us, thank you all the same, or we were kind of like expecting something a little bit different. Do you think that you can kind of change the hook, or do you think that if you could like change the melody here and there? But if I send off something, even the same song, if I send it off and say, oh my goodness, I've outdid myself, this would be marvelous for your artist. I can just hear her singing it in my head. It's going to be wonderful. When I'm positive and I sell the song like that, they love it. Every single time, it's like the best thing ever. They love it. Their artist is enthusiastic. They can't wait to record it. People react to you, how you present yourself. So as I said before, if you're negative, they're going to be negative towards you. And people are drawn to positivity. That's why we need to stop apologizing. And I say that. But the other day, while I was preparing and writing and thinking about doing this video, the other day, I went into the shop. And it was like a clothes shop. And I was just looking around at the rack. And I saw something that I liked. And there was like the young lady who worked in the shop. And the first thing I said was, I'm sorry to bother you, but do you have this color in another size? And I had to stop myself. And I thought, why am I apologizing? Why on earth am I saying I'm sorry to bother you? That's the very essence of her job. I'm supposed to bother her. Now, of course, it's a part of education too, because we don't want to be rude. But there are so many things that we can say. We can just say, excuse me, but I'm sorry to bother you. We need to stop apologizing as we get older. We need to stop apologizing and being afraid of taking up space, being afraid of bothering people, being afraid of speaking up loud, being afraid of being heard, being afraid of being seen. All these things I notice that we portray when we're in our 50s, and it really needs to stop. We need to erase all of that and be in our fabulous 50s and enjoy who we are and apologize to no one. Now this is the one that lets me laugh, especially in the time of life that I'm living now. And a lot of things that I've noticed is that a lot of us, we think we're too old. We get into our 50s and we actually think that we are too old to start a new job, too old to think about a new career, too old to start taking up a hobby, too old to do things like traveling and seeing certain parts of the world that we've never seen before. We're just too old to learn about computers and technology and things like that. We're too old. And I say to you, are you crazy? I told you guys last week that I have written a book. I'm well up into my 50s, and that was something that I really wanted to do, a passion that I've always had. And I told myself, what am I waiting for? It's something that I want to do, and I'm going to do it. I started it and I finished it. It's never too late. I wanted to do YouTube. The amount of people that ask me, but don't you think that YouTube is for young people? It probably is. But there are a lot of older people doing YouTube now too. YouTube is for everybody. And even if it is the majority of youth that are doing it, that doesn't mean that I can't do it too. So here I am, living life and doing what I want to do and proving that age really is just a number. Now this is the one that I honestly don't like. I don't know why, but it bothers me. And that's the one about being invisible. Some of us, we get to a certain age and we believe that we are invisible. And because we do, guess what? We become invisible. I have a friend who every now and again we will go out for lunch and we'll be sitting at a restaurant. And the waiter will be passing by. And she will be like, excuse me. And they ignore her. And like, excuse me, can I? And nobody stops. And it doesn't matter what she says or do. She's totally ignored. People just don't see her. This woman is invisible. And it's crazy. And I don't understand it. Because me, on the other hand, it's like, excuse me. Yes, can we help you? And I don't understand why. Now, some people might say, yeah, well, of course you're not going to be invisible because of your red hair and blah, blah, blah. But no, honestly, it's what you portray and it's what you give out. Although there are people that will treat you as if you're invisible for who knows for what reason. A few weeks ago, I went to the supermarket. I had just been on one of my walks and I had gone to the supermarket and I only had a few things in my hand. But there was quite a few people. It was during the day, so there was quite a lot of people at the till ready to pay out. And there were about 4 or 5 tills open. So I was there standing in line for about 5 minutes or so, but I was in no rush. I was just standing there. And at the corner of my eye, I noticed that there were a couple and they were using the automatic machine to pay for their goods. Now, something obviously wasn't working properly, so they called someone to assist them. And they were there faffing about on this automatic machine. And I was just there standing with my things in my hand. And I saw the woman who worked for the supermarket. She was like looking around and, and just kind of sizing up where to go. And she decided to bring the couple who couldn't get the automatic machine to work. She told them to follow me. And they followed her. And they pushed in right in front of me just when I was about to get up to the till and pay for my goods. Now, because I was out for a walk, I didn't carry a bag with me. I just had my purse with my ID, my keys, and a little mirror that I always carry with me. I had them in my pocket. So they pushed in front of me and I said, excuse me, 1 second, please. And I took out my mirror and I said, let me just check. You do see me, don't you? I'm not invisible. I can see myself. You can see me, can you not? And they looked at me and I said, the way you just pushed in front of me, for a minute, I thought I was invisible. And the woman who worked in the supermarket, she said, no. I said, no. Well, the machine isn't working, so they have to pay for their stuff. And I said, let me stop you right there. That's my problem. Why? And she said, no, let me explain. I said, no, we're past that. We're past that now. We're past the explanation stage. If you had asked me beforehand and explained the situation beforehand, then of course, yes, I would have let you pass. But you just pushing in front of me like I'm nobody, like my time doesn't matter, because I've been standing here for over 5 minutes. And for you to push in front of me like that, like as if I'm invisible, no, I'm sorry, that's not going to work for me. So please, would you get behind me? Now, what I wanted to add was, get behind me, Satan, but I didn't. I said, just get behind me. Now, the couple who were having the problem with the machine, I could tell that they understood the situation and they were embarrassed. But it wasn't their fault. It was the woman who worked in the supermarket. And I think to this day, she thinks she was right and can't see what my problem is. How dare I be annoyed after waiting my turn in line patiently? How dare I be annoyed that somebody just pushes in without a bio leave? Not a word spoken. I'll tell you, some people, What better way is there to boost your confidence than to look good? I will always say, wear what you want. Dress how you want to dress. Don't let anybody tell you what you should wear. You want to wear stripes? Wear stripes. You want to wear black? You wear black. You want to wear something that's short? You wear something that's shorter. If you want to wear something that hugs your figure, then let that fabric hug those curves. When you wear what you want to wear, when you feel good in what you're wearing, you feel amazing and no one can tell you nothing. And the thing is, when it comes to fashion rules, what rules are they? They're not really rules, they're just opinions. They have their opinions and you can have your opinions. At the end of the day, they wear. All these people that tell you what you should wear and what you shouldn't wear, at the end of the day, they are going to wear what they want to. Because they're not going to wear something that they don't feel good in. They're going to wear what they feel good in. So why shouldn't you? Because you're older. If I was to dress my age, if I was to literally dress my age, because I've done that sometimes, right? I've been out shopping and I think, I have to go to a wedding. So let me look for something in my age group that could be appropriate. And never once, not once, have I found something that I could say, this looks nice. No. they're frumpy, the colours are off, the shape's all wrong, that mid-length that's neither long nor short, they have bits and frills and things all over them. It's just things that I just wouldn't wear. So to dress your age, to dress as if in your 50s, what does that mean? Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to dress like my daughter who's in her 20s. But if I want to wear a pair of distressed jeans, why can't I? If I want to put on a leather motor jacket, why can't I? And more to the point, who's going to tell me that I can't? Leave a comment down below and let me know what fashion rules you have decided to ignore this year. So here we are at the end of another video. So maybe you'll look in the mirror differently tomorrow. Thank you so much for stopping by. It was good seeing you. It always is. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. But until then, be kind to yourself and to others. Take care. Bye for now. Ciao.